If you haven't read my first story, please do, as this is a continuation. So, as I stated in the first story, we lived in this building, and after mine and my mom's experience with the Shadow Man, things only seemed to get more intense. In this story I will combine all the things that happened until we ended up moving out and I went and lived with my dad. It was one of our birthdays. I was around 5 at the time, and my sister's dad always took a million pictures, and back then we had a Polaroid camera. It only had one picture left on the film, so he took a picture of the wall and threw it away and reloaded the camera so it would be ready. Later that day my mom made a tea, and as she was throwing out the tea bag she noticed the picture in the garbage, so she took it out and was horrified by what she seen, a skeleton with a cloak over its head pointing right at the camera. Of course my mom thought he was just playing some kind of sick joke, so she confronted him, and his face went white as a ghost, and he told her that if he had seen that he wouldn't have thrown it somewhere where the kids would see it. A few nights later I was laying in my mom's bed. I loved her room and would fall asleep in there, and she would move me to my bed later, and I could see a tall, very tall shadow in the corner of the room. I could kind of tell that it was looking at me, but for some reason I wasn't scared, and I sat up and stared back at it. I think I was trying to make out if it had a face or not. Something told me to talk to it, so I asked it what its name was. The thing is, at this time I didn't know a thing about ghosts, spirits or any of that. It didn't answer in a voice, instead it answered in my head. All the answers to my questions from spirits come in my head. We had a good 5-minute conversation before my mom came in and flicked on the light and he was gone. She asked me what I was doing awake and who I was talking to, but I never told her, even to this day. His name was Steven. He was there to watch over the apartment, and he saw some things going on that he wasn't happy about. What happened to make us move out wasn't known to me until I was a lot older, and my mom finally shared it with me. My mom said she had put my younger sister down for a nap and I was at my dad's for the weekend, so she was enjoying quiet time. She heard a man's voice coming from her room where my sister's crib was, but instead of throwing the door open she listened to hear what it was saying, but she couldn't make out any of the words. She threw the door open and there was a large shadow figure standing over my sister's crib. It turned towards the wall, took 2 steps and disappeared. My mom grabbed my sister and ran to my aunt's, which was in the next building. She called my dad and told him I would have to live there for a while because they were moving up north and didn't want to interrupt my school year. My sister's dad went back to the apartment and packed their stuff and they never looked back. Now after we moved out, my fiance's now best friend moved in. I never asked if he saw anything. But after I moved in with my dad the activity didn't stop.